The breath of wind whispering truths.
The flickering flame igniting our words.
The rushing water cleansing uncouth.
The fractured earth exchanged in thirds.
A spirit's scroll comes unfurled.
As oracle eyes peer into our world.
Unfamiliar.
Hi, welcome back to the podcast that you sometimes listen to, my friends. My name is Kat. I exist. And this is my friend slash fiance, partner, husband, wife, I don't know, Ducky. And we...
Brother husbands. Sister husbands? What's it called? Sister wives.
That's good. Sister wife.
Sister
I love
husbands.
it. Yeah. And welcome to Unfamiliar Witches, which you probably, if you're listening at this point, have already listened, to a couple episodes. Maybe you know what we're about. I don't know. If not, welcome. I hope this is your first episode, because will it be chaos? Absolutely. Apparently, that's the only thing I'm capable of.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. So today is my topic to talk about, and I believe we are going to do... Oh no, I was about to just ask you, can you intuit what I am going to talk about, Ducky? But you already know. We're talking about intuition today, which is a really fun subject and super hype, and I am really excited about, because I have some fun little things we can do. And also, I'm going to be posting a TikTok about intuition, doing some small intuition training and stuff, because really it's like a skill you need to develop, We're going to get into what intuition is and what it means in just a second. But first, I have an announcement to make, actually. You guys have probably heard us say it in every single episode that I live in Illinois and Ducky lives in North Carolina, right? Is that okay that I out that? You can cut it out if not.
Yeah, we've talked about it.
Great. Yeah, we live many states away. Here's the funny thing. My mother also lives in Illinois, but my aunt, her sister, lives in North Carolina. So we're for some reason, it just happenstance that Ducky and I are separated in the same two states that my mom and her sister are. I've also mentioned before on the podcast that my family, the women in my family, have some kind of connection and spiritualism that just connects each other. I am so excited to announce, and there is nothing in the works yet. You will not find anything about it on the internet quite yet because they're still working on it. My mother and her sister are going to be starting, guess what? A podcast very similar to this one, Unprovoked. I gotta be so honest with you guys. I haven't even told my mom that I do this podcast. She doesn't listen. She doesn't know about it. And they just decided out of nowhere that they were going to do a podcast about spirituality and intuition and psychics and all of this stuff, which is so crazy that they just did that, and that's what we're doing. So now there's going to be two spiritual podcasts where one person is in North Carolina and one person is in Illinois, and that's going to be really cool.
Literally so iconic. We have to do a crossover episode.
Absolutely we do, and we will as soon as I tell my mom about this. They're in the very early stages right now, so this is a very, I don't know, a very in advance notice that this is going to be happening. But they're doing the research. My mom asked me about recording equipment and about editing and stuff earlier, so I'm going to be helping her out with that. And we will absolutely do crossover episodes. My aunt actually does spirit readings and stuff where she'll try to connect with those who've passed on and everything. So maybe we can have her on to talk about that experience and talk about what that means for her and how my mom interprets it differently, because my mother doesn't have I see ghosts, but my mother does have I hear things and I feel things.
Right.
So maybe like they can come and talk about the differences and all that. That'd be really cool.
That'd be so cool. I
I agree.
agree.
Great. Awesome, great. Intuition. I've talked so much already. I'm so sorry. I promise you will hear from Ducky today. But firstly, let's talk about intuition. Ducky, what do you think the word intuition means?
Amazing question. I'm going to give kind of what I think of it as and not anywhere near what its actual definition is. Um,
Great.
to me, intuition at its most basic form is trusting your gut, and then intuition at your at a much more complex level would be um, practicing your ability to use what's the word I'm looking for? Um, fuck. It just I had it in my brain and then it went away. Um, your I can't think of the word. Basically, um, practicing your ability to make wise decisions is essentially what it is, and I think you can learn a lot from intuition. It's almost like the the sixth sense shit that everybody talks about or like
Yeah.
psychic abilities. Like I wouldn't say that's necessarily intuition, but it's that for normal people. Um,
Yeah, correct. Fair.
it's all of the subtle things that you pick up in human behavior and psychology that you can make inferences about somebody. It's all of that kind of stuff. Seeing
Hmm, hmm.
patterns repeated subconsciously and understanding what's about to happen. That's kind of intuition.
Yeah.
And then learning how to trust it is uh it's a lot different than just trusting your gut necessarily. Learning how to trust your intuition is a lot more refined and a lot more honestly difficult is the better way to say it.
Right. Yeah. I would agree. That's a very good definition. And I think you are correct. I will start off with the dictionary definition of intuition and then go into like what it means for us from there. So, the dictionary definition is the ability to understand something immediately without the need for conscious reasoning, or a thing that one knows or considers likely from instinctive feeling rather than conscious meaning or conscious reasoning. Sorry, my bad. I read that wrong. Great. So, what that means, and I'm going to read a little bit off of heysigmund.com, I think is where this little bit came from. Researchers at Leeds University analyzed a hefty pile of research papers on intuition, and they concluded that intuition is a very real psychological process where the brain uses past experiences and cues from the self and the environment to make a decision. The decision happens so quickly that it doesn't register on a conscious level, which I think is a very good definition as far as intuition goes, because you mentioned trusting your gut or listening to your gut versus like intuition, how they're just a little bit different from each other. You can have a gut feeling and it not be intuition. While they do derive from like different or the same, sorry, I can't talk today. They derive from like a similar kind of feeling. If I see a pizza, my gut is like, oh, pizza, absolutely, I'm gonna eat that. Like, because you can have a gut instinct on something and be like, ah, pizza sounds really good. I'm going to get pizza. Or like, gut feeling coming out of nowhere being like, I should not go in today. That's like two different things, right? Like a
Yeah.
gut feeling being like, pizza, that's my instinct is to eat that. Versus like, I have this feeling that is not going away that I should do this specific thing. Because if you trust your gut on that whole pizza situation and it has like, I don't know, peanuts on it or something, and you're allergic to peanuts, that is not good. Your intuition comes into play in like the second example where we're talking about like, oh, I have a gut feeling that I should stay home. There is a reason for that, and I am going to listen to that. You picking up what I'm putting down?
I absolutely do. What I find fascinating is As a Pisces, usually we are like so in tune to our intuition from the get, basically. And I have worked so hard on like fine tuning it. I actually just realized I'm kind of spending a lot of my time recently learning how to untrust my intuition and unlearn some of those patterns, because I'm learning in my life it's leading to a lot of like nervous energy that I don't need, which
Oh,
is also fascinating because I know there's a lot of memes on like TikTok and stuff where it's like trusting your intuition, but if you're neurodivergent, like it doesn't always go the best. Because you could
right,
have
right.
the intuition of like, and to be fair, like intuition and a nagging voice in your head are not the same thing, but the nagging voice can kind of bleed into the intuition
Yeah,
of like, oh, do this bad thing, do this bad thing, do this bad thing, do this bad thing, and then like the next time it comes around, you just get the gut feeling. You get that like spiritual pull towards doing the bad thing. I don't know. I just
right.
thought of that. Something about the pizza and the peanuts on it, like the allergy, or I think
Hmm.
of um I think of people who are lactose intolerant but they love ice cream, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, you're totally right. I think they can bleed into each other sometimes. Like you may think it's one thing, it's actually the other. Definitely has happened to me before where like I was a child, specifically when I was a child, because every child has some form of like intuition. Um, I had this like really terrible feeling in my gut that I needed to leave the sleepover I was at. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to leave. Something bad's going to happen. Or like these people are going to turn on me or something. I don't know. So I called my mom and I left and I immediately felt better. And it was not until years later that I was like, oh, I just have anxiety. Cool.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, wow,
Um,
I really need to get out of this crowd. Something bad's gonna happen. Oh, you were just in a crowd. Like,
yeah. 100%. They bleed together. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. So, really, what you are doing and what I encourage everybody to do is train yourself to call upon your intuition rather than leave it as like an open valve. Like I'm not going to go into my kitchen and leave my faucet running and drink from it all the time and just leave it running, right? That's a lot of water that is
truth.
wasted. And so treating your intuition the same way, you don't want to be open to that intuition all of the time, nonstop, with no breaks, because it does lead into it bleeding over. And then you're not sure what is what. Am I just anxious right now? Am I just feeling this way because I thought something? What's happening with this? Am I worried about the future? Am I worried about now? Who knows? Tapping into it when you need it or when you're looking for it is going to be one much healthier for you on like a mental level. You don't want to take too much strain mentally from just constantly worrying or constantly trying to assess. That's a lot of stress on you. And two, spiritually, like the same thing goes for people who are sensitive to ghosts or spirits. They don't want to be open to that all the time 24/7, because think how exhausting that would be to be channeling all of these different lives and souls inside of yourself
True.
to like deal with that constantly all day every day. That would be so hard. You got to have a moment where you turn it off at least.
Uh,
So yes, training your intuition is something that we're going to get into a little bit today, and training yourself to know when to tap into it. Did you have something to add, my friend?
nope. Yes, I
Okay,
agree.
great. Fabulous. Let me pull up my little research that I read off of earlier and see what else I had on there, because I will make sure I get all of it.
One thing that is kind of fun is right now I'm actually trying to train my brain to turn a lot of things off. So
Hmm.
I can use them and engage them, but not have them always on. One thing
Yeah.
I've noticed a lot recently is my directing brain, the brain that just analyzes the way people are talking, how they're saying words. if they really are truthful, if they're believing it or not. Like, I can't get that to turn
Mhm.
off, and I've been focusing a lot on that recently
Right.
because I
That one is particularly hard for me as well
yeah,
because I'm actively teaching acting and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
constantly like, is this truthful? Is this honest? Does it feel?
yeah. It's started to I've started to make comments about it even in just everyday interactions with people, and I'm like, you need to stop doing that. Like, people
Yeah.
look at you. One, they look at you like you're crazy. Two, it's kind of rude to just be like, you should have said that a different way. And I don't even mean the words that you said. I mean how you said it. Like,
Yeah. I feel that. Yes, correct. That's a good example of trying to train your brain to like do the things when you need it to versus like it being on all the time.
yes.
Um, Fabulous. So let's talk a little bit about like training intuition and what intuition could be for you. I don't know if you guys have seen it on TikTok. Literally every time I do a freaking episode, I talk about TikTok. But for a while there were these videos that were like, test your intuition. What color is this slime? And it would be like a black and white video until the very end, and they would like put the color back on, and you have to see if you like guess the color, right? I don't know if you've seen those, Ducky,
I
but
have seen
those
them
were
a
like,
lot.
yeah, they were super popular for a while. And that is technically intuition. You know, that's intuition based reasoning and guessing. Though I will say, um, I think it's a little
Well, mainly it's color theory.
mainly it's color theory,
if you've
yeah, because
ever
your
if you've
brain
ever done
is
lighting in
analyzing.
theater, you know how colors react to certain filters. Like,
Exactly. Like part of it is just you looking at this gray and being like, what tone of gray is that? And then associating that with a color. And it happens instantly. Like it's crazy what the human brain and like eyes can do because you could look at a shade of gray and be like, oh yeah, I know exactly what shade of red that is.
yeah,
And it's just amazing. Um, it's also a little hard because it's like a pre-recorded video and
right.
a lot of intuition is like in the moment. And while yeah, you can definitely work on videos like that to help train your recognition and stuff, it's also like take it with a grain of salt because that moment in time has passed. You are merely watching like a recording of it. And it may be difficult to tap into the energy that way because that moment has passed. That energy has already spent, you know?
Absolutely. I think
Um,
another thing that's the intuition could be very similar to is a flight or fight response. It's
yes.
just like a
Yes, I agree.
spiritual version of it.
Spiritual fight or flight. Let's go.
Band
I love
name
that.
called it.
Damn it.
Yeah, right. As if you wouldn't be in the
Oh,
band, let's be real.
perfect. Thanks. Yeah, so clearing that up a little bit. Intuition is not necessarily an analytical skill. Like how we mentioned earlier, you know, you're analyzing that gray color you see on the screen, and your brain is already trying to match it with what color it would be. It's also not like a thing you research really. I mean, do research it, like do learn about it, but it's not like here's a textbook on intuition and by the end of it you're going to understand everything about it and you will be perfect. It is a learning experience that you grow through experience and energy and reflection and building time with yourself, right? Learning to trust the higher self, learning to trust the experiences you've had to guide you into the future is the way that I look at it. Fabulous. Any questions? Any thoughts, Ducky?
No. My head's pretty empty.
Great. I love it. Oh, I also went onto a Skillshare blog and I found some examples of intuitive experiences. So I'm going to read those and we're going to I don't know, talk about them maybe?
Judge
IDK.
them. We're gonna judge them.
We're gonna judge them. We're gonna judge these people on Skillshare.
Hell yeah.
A strange knowing that something is going to happen. I would agree. I would call that intuition.
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, man. I don't know. An unexplained feeling that won't go away and is later explained by something that occurred.
Okay, that's just anxiety.
That is also just anxiety. Me at a birthday party sleepover.
Me
when I was
literally
in the
anywhere.
second grade. Yeah. Yeah, that one is fun. Third one is feeling very strong emotions towards someone or something and later understanding those feelings were correct and why. I think what they mean is like meeting someone initially and like immediately getting a feeling for like, oh, you're a good person, or oh, you're a bad person, or
Yeah.
oh, I don't know that this is going to work out. But an example I have of that is like when I worked at Dollar Tree and we got a new hire in, I knew immediately if they were going to be quitting in the first month.
Yeah. That's real. That's so real.
Yeah, this is accurate. So I feel like that one counts as intuition.
I'd say so, yeah.
And then the last one they have listed is flashes or glimpses of things, people, or situations that seem to come out of nowhere, which I think might be referring to like deja vu.
Yeah, maybe. That
Maybe.
that resonated with me because something I've always done is I have very vivid dreams. I've always had very vivid dreams. Oh, we just talked about it. Yeah, I have very vivid
Yeah.
dreams. Um, multiple times I will be in a moment and go, okay, I know for a fact that I dreamed this exact scenario 3 weeks ago.
Yes. Oh, I agree. Okay.
And I
Yeah.
know
That
it's
makes sense.
not deja vu because I know for a fact that I woke up and was like, huh, I guess I'll see that in the future. Like literally. So
Okay. Yeah. That makes more sense. I agree with that. I didn't even think about that.
I,
Um,
I also think
yeah.
there's a lot of when I was in high school, I used to get very vivid flashes and images of things that were honestly impossible, but they kind of had like messages tied to them. And that was
Mhm.
that also kind of sparked that memory, that thought to me.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably intuition.
I would agree with you. Yeah. I think so. Um, that's the examples that they gave. I agree with three of them. One of them is just anxiety. So let's talk a little bit about how to find your intuition, because like we said multiple times already, it can be a little muddled, a little muddied for you. Um, so let's talk about ways to use it to amplify it so that you can recognize the difference between like, I'm anxious or I'm nervous or I just don't like this person versus, oh, I'm having like a moment and this is a thing that is going to happen. Or you are not good for me and I know right away.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some differences there. My first piece of advice for that would be simply to listen. Um, when you have that initial feeling of like, oh fuck, or or maybe it's just like a my breath kind of caught in my throat a little bit there. Take a minute to analyze yourself and just listen. Just listen to what your brain says for a moment. Um, if you're leaning a little bit more towards like, I gotta get out of here. This is the feeling that I am feeling, and I gotta get out of here. That might be misleading to you. If it is a full statement of like your breath hitched or whatever, you're taking a moment to self-analyze and something within you goes, this is the predicament, here is what's going on. that might be a little bit more towards intuition. At least in my experience, that's how I tell a lot of the difference.
Mine is the way it feels for me. I'm trying to figure out how to like describe this. Basically, my thoughts are my thoughts and they're in my brain. My
Hmm.
anxiety is usually in my body. And then when it's
Hmm.
intuition, it's both.
That's good.
I get
I'll
a
have to check for that.
I get a physical response that directly correlates with what I'm thinking versus oh, I'm sitting here like tapping my leg on the floor really aggressively. That's anxiety, but it has nothing to do with my thoughts.
Right.
Because I don't really like spiral mentally. Whenever I have very bad anxiety, my thoughts stop completely and I go completely brain dead. And I know that's weird for, well, not to pull gender into it. I know that's weird for women to hear, but men actually do have no thoughts in their head occasionally. um, and I am one of those, unfortunately, at least biologically. So I quite commonly will just have actually no thoughts in my head. Yeah, I don't know. Like I will spiral mentally, but I feel like that
Right.
is um like it's almost like info processing and not
Yeah.
anxiety and not intuition. Like intuition usually always has like, for example, let me just pull up an example of intuition. When I was in 4th grade, I was standing next to somebody. One of our classmates, their parents were truck drivers. They brought the semi truck that they drive to school for a show and tell kind of vibe. He had opened the doors on the back of the truck to show everyone like what the inside looks like, that sort of thing. And he
Hmm.
like magnetized or like clipped the doors to the side of the truck, and it was a really windy day. My friend and I were standing off to the side because we had already looked inside. So we were standing off to the side, like in the pathway of one of the doors, basically, if it were to like blow closed. And I, they felt the wind. My friend felt the wind and looked at the door and backed up. I wasn't looking at them and instinctually backed up without paying attention to anything, didn't even know they took a step
Hmm.
back. I just intuition, my body and my brain pulled me backwards. And like
Right.
2 seconds later, the door like got caught by the wind and almost slammed and hit a bunch of people. Luckily the
Oh my
dad was there
gosh.
to like catch it, so it didn't like
Yeah.
knock everyone over or like kill anyone, but
Hmm.
yeah. So
Spooky
my
still.
intuition is like brain and body kind of vibes.
Yeah. If it that's another good rule of thumb. Now that you mentioned that, is if it happens before you have time to think about it, it was more than likely intuition.
Yeah.
Like usually with anxiety, it builds because you think about it more, or even with like depression, like it builds into a spiral or something. If it just happens and you're like, ah, this thing, I know it right now, or oh, I am moving and I did not think about moving, that's usually an intuition thing.
Think of like Spider-Man's Spidey sense.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think intuition, yeah, it's almost like a superpower. I also just thought of like I can smell when it's about to rain and a lot of people can't. I can feel in my body when it's about to rain. A lot of people can't.
Hmm.
Like when the pressure's changing. Um the Native Americans used to be able to tell if there was a herd of buffalo like within a couple miles, that sort of thing. Like
Yeah,
it's being like so in tune with not only yourself but the world around you that you cannot help but notice things.
exactly. A lot of the time, people think that intuition is messages sent to you directly from the universe, and it very well could be. So, keeping yourself like, oh my gosh, why did my ringer just change? That was weird. So keeping yourself like open to the chance of intuition happening versus like, keeping it flowing all the time is
Absolutely.
important because it very well could be that the universe is sending you a direct message to like back the fuck up so you don't get hit by a semi door.
Yeah, literally.
For real. Um,
I
oh my gosh, I was gonna say something. I don't know what it was. You go ahead.
I just was gonna say, do we want to talk about like, do you have advice on how to train your intuition? Because I feel like we'll have very different advice.
I do. I do have some prepared actually. And I have some exercises that you and I are going to do in a little bit.
Love that.
Um, yeah.
Hey, it's Ducky. Enjoying the show? Be sure to share us with your friends and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow, rate us, leave us a review, all the things. Now let's get back to the magic with Unfamiliar Witches.
So my ways that I would look at training intuition, you can do it with a partner, you can do it on your own. Um, Things that I would do as like a child, not even knowing I was training my intuition, whenever I was sitting in the car with my parents, and we would take like road trips or anything, if it was raining, I would watch the way that the water droplets on the car window would like move. And I would try to predict or like figure out which like drop on the window this big running one would like run into next. I don't know if that makes any sense at all,
That
but
did. That
like,
was cool. I like that.
thank you. Thank you. Yeah. I would like pick one and I'd be like, that one's the one it's going to run into. And it either would or it wouldn't. And eventually, I know that sounds like just a guessing game, but it was unpredictable water, right? Like it was just water moving at a high speed that doesn't have a direct trajectory.
Right.
So like I would intuit where it goes and which one I thought would be or I felt would be next. So fun, tiny stuff like that is always good. Um, Also, if you're willing to work with like a partner or something on it, you can always do like colors or shapes or numbers or letters. And it can be as simple as like, okay, I'm thinking of a number. I'm going to write a number down. Ducky, guess this number. And then
14.
you tell me what number you think it is. It was 2, but you were close. And while that does add like the extra little fog of like, a third party being involved, part of your intuition is the energy that goes between you and the world. So, like, sure, use that third party, vibe off of that person's energy and see if that helps you. Maybe you're picking up on what they're thinking, maybe they're picking up on what you're thinking. That's all a part of intuition. Um, you can also, if you want to do it on your own, this is my last one, I promise. Shuffle a deck of cards or like separate the suits out and like shuffle just the diamonds and like touch one, hold it, feel it, vibe with it. See if you can feel and just know what that card is. Pull it, see if you're right or wrong. Keep your rights in one pile and your wrongs in another, Just small stuff like that.
That's rad. What I like to do is I'll put my right hand out like on top of stuff and try to, so for example, let's just stick with cards, right? Let's say you pull out just one suit, like the diamonds, and then you have them all laid out in a random order, and then take your right hand, okay? Because normally your left hand is the strong one, spiritually connected wise, whatever. Take your right hand, pan it over the cards, back and forth, and be like, I'm trying to find the 7. And then whatever card feels right, pull it down, and then do it with your left hand and try to find the 7 and do it that way and just keep going until you get it right. And then sometimes you'll be able to find patterns that of like how you're feeling, that sort of thing. That's how I used to train it. To be perfectly honest, like that's a thing I did.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I have since taken that into nature before. Actually did this previously, or like a couple weeks ago. I was walking and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have my hand out to my side, and I was like, what rock is gonna like speak to me? And then I picked up a rock, and I was like, oh my god! When I pulled it, like when I flipped it over, it was like really freaking cool. And I was like, I wouldn't have picked that one up if it wasn't like that was specifically the one I was meant to pick up because it was
Yeah.
boring on the top. So So you can do stuff like that. Have you ever
Yeah.
done the Kat, have you ever done the game that went around on social media where you go, okay, 1, 2, 3, and you try to say the same word, and then you use those 2 words to come up with a word that's similar in between them?
No, I've never done it.
Okay. So like, yeah, one person will be like 1, 2, 3, and they say like bread, and then the other person says like revolution, right? So then it's like, okay, I got it. 1, 2, 3, France, and then they both say France. Like
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
that's the game, and you just keep going
I
until
would
you
be
get it.
so mad at that.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, I do.
Let's do it right here, right now.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna say
Okay,
1,
great.
2,
I'm
3,
pumped.
and then we say whatever word we think of.
Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, fish. Oh shit.
Fabric. Oh.
We try to say it at the same time.
I said mine at the same time as you on my end, but I feel like there was lag.
There was so
So
much lag. He was like, fish, dot, 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 fabric.
fabric. Yeah, my bad.
Okay, maybe we have to do
That's
that
just
one
the
in
lag.
person. LOL.
Maybe we do. Hold on. We'll try it again. We'll try it again. Go ahead. Count it down.
1, 2, 3, quilt.
Controller.
Oh my god, that was better.
Yay. So we got quilt and controller. Is that what
Yeah.
it was?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Do you have your word?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, machine.
Sewing machine.
Hell yeah, we did it.
Wow. We did it.
So easy though.
That was so fun, actually.
I was gonna say serger too. That's the worst part.
Oh my gosh. Wow, look at us.
Amazing.
That is
Well,
so
that was a
fun.
bust. Fuck the lag.
Yeah, fuck the lag. But it was still fun. I liked it. We should do that more. That's really cool.
We'll definitely do it when we're
Okay.
in person next time.
Yes, please. All right, so we talked about training it a little bit. We talked about recognizing it a little bit. Before we jump into like the game that I was going to have us play, do you have any advice, since you're currently working on it, on turning off your intuition, or like slowing down the trickle until you call upon it?
Honestly, truly, not yet.
Great.
I basically I just had to trust my intuition, and the sentence I heard in my brain was like, don't say anything. Like I don't want to give bad advice because I'm still very new. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. We'll check in on it later.
Absolutely. Yeah. Maybe like a
Yeah,
few episodes down the line I'll have a better idea. But
yeah. My advice for now, because I'm kind of in a similar boat, like I don't want to give you bad advice. I don't want to sit here and tell you something without knowing what I'm talking about. Just give it while you're thinking about it. If you recognize like I am analyzing everything all at once right now, and that's not what we should be doing, just take a step back. Take a second and be like, great, moving on, and just go. Just vibe, just live. It's okay. It's okay to not be constantly listening. That's it. That's all I have for that.
now my brain is screaming meditation, but my body feels like it's dying. So I would say meditation, but maybe that's actually the opposite. Maybe it's meditation the way I meditate, and not meditation the way most people do. My meditation is not about quieting the brain, it's about listening to the noise.
Oh my gosh, me too.
And breath. Breath work. Just do
Breath.
literally just do
Just
breath
breathe.
work always. Like
Just breathe all the time. Literally look up Kristen Linklater, do some breathing techniques, my guys.
abso-freaking-lutely. Breathe deep, breathe
Amazing.
in, basically breathe through your feet into the ground. It sounds weird. Have a relaxed stomach. Breathe as deeply as you possibly can. Think down. Breathe
Yes.
in through your nose, and whatever amount of time that you breathe in through your nose, then breathe out through your mouth twice that amount. So if you breathe
Yes,
in
yes.
for 4 beats, breathe out for 8.
So good, so good. I love telling this to people. Breath to the body is essential. Your body thrives off of oxygen. If you think about it, you are as though tree. You are like a tree is. The breath that feeds the trees and the roots and the soil and the flowers feeds you as well. So take advantage of it the same way. Breathe in, think that you are growing into the ground, and just let it sprout from you. And it is life changing.
Literally. I mean, we're what? We're like literally water and air. And what is water? H2O. It's got oxygen in it, bitch. Breathe.
It sure fucking does. Breathe. Anyway, yeah, meditate and breathe, and you'll feel so much better. Also, definitely, yeah, meditation. I forgot to explain a little bit on that earlier because I think I mentioned meditating is helpful for training your intuition. You are correct. Meditate. But it is in fact much more about listening when you're trying to train that intuition. Listen for your body cues. Find out what your body is telling you. Listen to the noise within your brain. Does it sound different when it's intuition versus when it's like the voices in your head talking to you? I don't know. My voices are kind of like fucky sometimes. So, yeah, meditate good. Meditate always good. 10 out of 10 would recommend leaving a review on Yelp. Would you like to play a game?
Yeah. Fuck
Yay!
yeah.
Okay. So, what we are going to do is a live version of kind of the stuff you would see on TikTok, where we can actually work off of each other's energy and the feelings in the universe and the space around us to try to intuit some stuff from each other. You who are listening to this episode, maybe, hopefully, please, you can absolutely try to play along if you would like. And I would encourage you to. Just keep in mind that, like the TikTok videos, this is a recording. So the energy could be different. It could already be spent. It could already be working itself around. You may find that even if you are usually very intuitive and can guess stuff like this right away, this may be difficult. And it's probably just because it's not happening right now. While you're experiencing it for the first time, it's a moment that has already passed. So just be aware of that. I don't want anybody getting disappointed or sad if they miss one or two or anything like that. But yeah, we're going to play a game. So the first one we are going to play is just colors. Basically, I'm going to look at something in my general vicinity. I am going to think really, really hard about what color it is. I'm going to try to send it to you all the way in North Carolina
Hell yeah.
and take a second to vibe with it and then try to guess the color of the object I'm looking at. And we'll see how we're doing today.
Dope. Do you have it chosen?
I do. And I am looking at it right now. And I am thinking about it.
I feel like it's between yellow and green.
Interesting. In what way? It's either yellow or green?
You know when you have a color spectrum of all of the colors and there's all those in
Uh-huh.
between colors of it's almost more like I'm leaning a little more towards yellow now. I'm locking it in. Yellow. Almost like a yellow orange
Yellow.
even. It's probably
Okay.
so wrong.
Well, your initial instinct was almost right because when you said between yellow and green, yellow and blue make green, and I was looking at blue.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's why I asked in what way, because I don't think blue is between green and yellow on the color wheel,
Yeah, it's not.
but but like it is technically between the two if you're looking at it from like a mixing standpoint. So
Interesting.
close. Would you like to pick one or do you want to do another one?
Yeah, I'll pull an object.
Okay.
Let me find a good one in my room. I want to find something that's like
Yeah.
mainly this one color. I have my object.
Okay. Think really hard about it. I need all the help I can get. Okay. Initially, what I am thinking is red, orange, or purple. I know those are kind of like weirdly different. I could also be like way off, but that's just like what my feeling was instantly. I feel like I'm gonna go. Damn, this is hard. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna go with purple, but it's probably not gonna end up being purple. It's probably gonna end up being orange. What was your color?
We were way off, both of us.
Great. What's your color?
The item I originally looked at was red, so you were kind of on the right track. But the one I chose is like it's like a muted sage green color. I know I did green after guessing
Oh.
green, so that was kind of tricky, but
That is tricky, yeah. Interesting. Maybe I just latched on to the first thing you looked at and I was like, it's red.
yeah, probably, honestly.
Who knows?
It was, when you were describing the game, the red object was the one I was going to choose. So.
Perfect. All right. I'm gonna do one more. We can each do one more of the color, and then we're gonna move on to the other game that I have.
Awesome.
Okay. I have my color, and I am projecting it so hard into the universe.
I'm getting like a orange. I have a problem where I read like the energy of stuff.
No, I totally get that.
So I might
This
be
is-
tapping
is
into the
one-
item and then reading its energy and not the color of the item.
Not the color, correct. No, that's totally fair. Because I feel like I would do the same thing. And it may also 100% be because we are literally so far apart.
Straight
We
up.
have not ever done intuition work together in person. So the energy's probably a little weird.
We have Appalachian Mountains in between us, and that is a lot to
Yeah.
deal with.
It's the mountain. Yeah, it's the mountain reception. Is that your final guess, Orange?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
This item does have orange on it, but it is not the main color. The
Okay.
main color was
Pink?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would not have got that.
but it does have a good chunk of orange on it. It's just not like the main color I was thinking about on this item.
Perfect.
Neat. Last one. Pick a good item.
Okay, it's a hard one. I will tell you that much.
Oh,
Might as well go
oh,
as hard as
no.
possible, right?
Yeah. Great. Is this a patterned item?
You bet your ass it is.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Is it perchance? No, I could be wrong. Is it perchance a floral pattern or like leafy?
Yes.
So green and orange and lots of color.
Yeah.
Is it perchance the seat cushion that you made?
It is not that item, at least.
Oh, neat.
It is a big soup pot that's got flowers on it.
That wasn't my first guess. I was feeling like weird. I wasn't like physically feeling it, of course, because I'm over here. But I was like trying to connect, and I was like, this doesn't feel like a pillow. But that's the only colorful thing that I know of that's like in your room.
Which is funny because I'm in a room literally dripping in color of all kind.
Yeah, I know. You have so much color. Like,
My walls are
it's not a
green.
pillow,
Like,
but it's floral. Is it like a teal,
actually,
like, base?
it is like technically a white base, but the color, like
Okay.
the flower stem that I'm looking at directly is more teal
Wow!
instead of green.
I personally count that as a win.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, we're so good at this, don't worry. Um,
We're what, like 800 miles away or something stupid like that?
yeah, something dumb like that, and we're doing so good. Okay, so my next game, and technically my final activity, because this is like all that I had except for maybe final thoughts. This might be a short episode actually, because I don't know that I have more to explain at the moment, I guess necessarily,
And
or to
that's
commentate
okay.
on.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
fine.
just, this is just all of my research that I've done, and we're having a good time. So, my last little game, I have in my hand a D20. Can you guess what color my D20 is?
Hell yeah. It's definitely purple.
It is!
I like saw it. That
Wow!
was actually cool. I like kind of saw it.
Yeah, I love that. Did you see what color the numbers are on it?
I assumed white, but I probably saw that wrong.
You're close. They're a very light gold.
Okay. That was gonna be my
But
second
yeah,
guess, but I also just know a lot about dice. So that
yeah, valid.
was
That is so
an
funny.
educated
Okay.
guess.
Great. My purple D20 I am holding currently. I am going to roll it, and there will then be a number. You have, you know, 20, 20 chances, I guess. And you're gonna try to guess the number.
It's 16
Is it?
before you even roll.
It was 16.
Was it actually?
It was actually, yeah.
Holy shit.
And I venture to guess that this is a little bit easier for you intuition wise because you have roots in numerology.
And so much like experience with dice and using dice in my witchcraft.
Exactly. Exactly. If you would also like to grab a D20, I will guess some as well. And I will probably be worse because I don't have as much of a connection with numerology or like dice specifically.
This is gonna sound bad. I have to find dice. They're not in arm's length. I mean, they are. I
No.
just have to grab them safely.
Fair, fair.
I have a dice jar right beside me. Is one of these a
Yay.
D20? Perfect. What color is it?
Is it green?
It is not. Wait, let me double check
Damn.
that. It's pretty dark in my room right now. It is not, but it does start
Fair.
with a G and an R.
Oh, is it gray?
It's gray.
Dang. I was so close.
Okay. To help with the communication across long distances, I'm going to roll this on top of my cell phone.
Great. That's a good idea. I should do that too.
Oh my god. Are you ready to guess?
I sure am. I will do my best. Have you rolled the dice?
Oh, I have, yes. Sorry.
Okay, great. No, I was expecting to hear it and then I just didn't hear it.
Oh, yeah.
Is it an 8?
Very close.
Shit.
I am looking at an 8, but it is not the number on top.
Oh. You are looking at an 8.
It is right
good.
beside
That's
it, and it is half, or rather double, of an 8.
Oh. So 16?
Again, yeah.
Yo, no fucking way.
That's why I rolled it and went, oh.
Great. Love it. All right, here's yours. You ready?
Yep.
It has been rolled.
Oh, that's a 13.
No, but you are close. It does almost look like a 13.
Is it a 3?
No, other way.
Oh. It's a 1?
No, it's an 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna roll for you. You got this.
Oh no, that made me nervous. Me trying to listen to not my anxiety.
You did this. We've said it already this episode.
The number?
Yeah.
We said a number?
You said this number even.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm like thinking way too hard about like numbers that I've said
Yeah,
rather than
right?
just actually intuiting it. Okay, is it a 4?
It is half of a 4.
Damn it, it's 2. Wow, I'm doing really great with doubles today, huh?
Yeah, literally.
All right, I got one more for you. I'm gonna warm this one up real good. Okay. What is that number?
6?
We are both really good with doubles today.
Oh, it's a 12. Or
It's
is
a
it
12.
a 3?
It was a 12. You got it the second guess. It's fine.
Yeah. 6 is the one that like jumped out initially, and then I was like, I ran through all the numbers, and I was like, nope, 6 did it again. So, okay, I have one more little witchy game.
Yeah.
This is nearly impossible. If you get this, we are the best podcast ever, and that means that anybody who ever listens to this has to send it to 4 people, or we're going to come to their house and beat them up.
Okay, great. Perfect.
Okay. I have a chip clip in my hand. This chip clip
Okay.
is shaped like a food.
Like a food?
Like a food. What food
Okay.
item is this chip clip?
Okay. Chip clip, food item. My initial thought was pizza, but I think that might just be because I'm hungry for pizza.
Yeah,
I think I'm listening to my gut.
you got the right
Um,
shape.
That's great. Good for us. The right shape? It's a triangle. Oh my gosh, is it shaped like a Dorito?
Oh no, I meant circle.
Oh, fair. Okay, it's a circle?
It's
It's
a
a pie. Is it a pie?
I wish. You just want
Damn.
pizza.
I want pizza so bad.
It's a donut.
Okay, hold on. Let me. It's a donut? I
Yeah.
was gonna guess egg.
Egg is a really good guess.
Thank you.
If you put pizza and egg together, it make donut. So.
Boxes are like bomb.
And with that, thanks for listening.
We're gonna come to your house and beat you up anyway if you don't share this podcast. So, joke's on you.
End on an inside joke. Amazing.
Yep.
Oh, boxes are like bombs, and you can take that to the bank.
Cash that shit for $1 million, my guy. Anyway, have a great day. Enjoy your intuition. Hopefully, you're better at it than I am at the moment. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. If you liked that episode, please leave us a review and a 5-star rating on whatever podcast platform you're on. Also, feel free to follow us over on our socials at Unfamiliar Witches, where we post bonus witchy content and chaos. See you next week. Play us out, Janet.